Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. It's been a few weeks now since the EA announcement of the 3 Star Wars games coming from Respawn Entertainment, and I'm yet to really talk about any of them, so in today's video I want to go over a few thoughts I've had with regards to the first person shooter that they're working on. I will be doing more discussions about this game in the future, but for now I just want to focus on what I think the story itself will be actually about, because there are quite a lot of ideas roaming around. Cast your minds back to the end of January last year. We had a rumour saying that EA is working on a small scale shooter that was due to release in Q4 2021. It was also said to be a shooter of some description, and that it's been in the works for a little over 2 years. My theory is that this small scale shooter that Reddit user Orca is not alone refers to could very well be the first person shooter coming from Respawn. With that being said, I do actually think that this post is probably talking about Star Wars Hunters, and perhaps he just got a bit confused. The reason I say that is because Star Wars Hunters was due to release late last year. It's a third person shooter, it's a small scale project, and it's being developed in Unreal Engine. The only thing that's not right here about it being Hunters though is obviously the fact that EA is mentioned and it's releasing on mobile and Switch as opposed to all major platforms, as this rumour suggests. So maybe it's not Hunters and this first person game is being worked on in Unreal Engine as well, but it just sounds awfully close. Regardless, we now know that Respawn is working on a Star Wars shooter, so what could it be about? Personally, I'd love to see a new take on something like Republic Commando. Perhaps it could essentially be a remake of Republic Commando where we actually get to see the canon version of Delta Squad's story, or it could be a game about the Bad Batch. A Bad Batch game would no doubt be very similar to how a modern Republic Commando would be, however the story would of course be very different. We know that the Bad Batch has been on tons of missions throughout the Clone Wars, but we don't know what exactly they've actually been up to beyond the Battle of Annexus and what we see in the Bad Batch TV show, so I think it would be amazing to have a game actually tell that part of the story during the Clone Wars. Last year, following this rumour, I did do a video on a concept for a game that I had based on Rainbow Six Siege and this small scale rumour. It's basically like a Clone Wars version of R6, and I think it would be pretty cool if a game like that did happen. So that is essentially something I'd like to see, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below for you guys to check out if you haven't already. With that being said, I think it will most likely be a game centred around Inferno Squad. The main reason I think that is shown entirely on this Reddit post here, but I'll dive into that in just a moment. So let's say the game was about Inferno Squad. Many of you may be confused by this because of how the Battlefront 2 campaign ended and the fact that the book was about how they were created. Well, despite all of that, there's still plenty of story that we haven't seen or heard about for them. For example, in the Battlefront 2 campaign, Iden referred to the Jar Binks Incursion. Now if you're reading the book currently and you don't want spoilers, then it's probably best to click off the video now. But in the book we don't see the Jar Binks Incursion whatsoever, so clearly it takes place after the book and before the Battlefront 2 campaign. The Jar Binks Incursion was also mentioned in the Star Wars Squadron story, so it seems like a pretty big deal, as otherwise why was it mentioned in both games? My theory is therefore that this Respawn first person shooter could very well be a game based on Inferno Squad, where part of the story is going to be the Jar Binks Incursion. In that we'll hopefully be able to play as Inferno Squad once again, and we'd potentially get to see Titan Squadron as well, or at least some kind of reference, which I think would be pretty cool. So that's my theory surrounding the actual story, and in the coming weeks I'm going to be discussing my thoughts for a multiplayer side of the game, but for now let's head back to the Reddit post. The post is a culmination of evidence suggesting that 3 of the Battlefront 2 actors have been working together on what could very easily be a new Star Wars game. It's worth adding that all of this is from the end of 2020, so it was quite some time ago. Considering this game was rumoured towards the start of 2021 though, the timing easily matches up. As you can see, there are lots of different things here that can be used as evidence, so if you want to check it all out for yourself, then I'll leave a link in the description below for you, as I just want to mostly focus on the summary at the bottom. My good friend Sammy Boy did a video going over all of this post as well, so I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. To summarise though, Janina Gavankar, Anthony Scordi and TJ Romini were all in LA in November 2020, doing motion capture and voice acting as seen by these photos on their social media. In December 2020, Anthony Scordi retweeted a clip of Del Meeko saying that TJ is a wonderful actor and amazing human being, to which TJ responded saying, "Right back at you, so lovely seeing and working with you again," on what we shan't reveal of course. This therefore confirms that the two were working together at that time, and considering Janina was in mocap at the same time, it would make a ton of sense if the three were all working together. With regards to the reveal, all three of them have teased it, with TJ saying they shan't reveal it just yet, and Janina tweeted simply with a shush emoji, and to the best of my knowledge, whatever project or projects that they were working on are yet to be revealed. Whilst this is just a theory that plenty of other people have had as well, I think it just all adds up far too well for the Respawn first-person shooter to not be an Inferno Squad game. It is just a theory though, so please do take it with a grain of salt. So guys, that is why I believe Inferno Squad will be in the Respawn first-person shooter game. I'm really hoping it will release at some point next year, and maybe we'll hear more about it at Star Wars Celebration later this year, but I can't imagine it would be an awful lot, as Jedi 2 will no doubt be the main focus. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this though guys, so be sure to let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and if you want to stay up to date with this game then make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on a single video. That is everything I have for you today though guys, thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.